Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to do a review on Nappily Ever After. Nappily Ever After on Netflix, by the way. Loving Netflix. Also, I'm with my friend Saabirah. Yes, I'm going to put her deets below. But yeah, we are going to get into this film because it needs to happen.
Yeah.
So, okay, so guys, we're going to go through some sections of the film that we just think are the most significant and some parts that we just thought like, okay, yeah, we need to talk about this because it's just interesting. It's something that all you guys will be interested in. I'm sure you're already talking about it. Like, yeah. So, Saabirah and I are going to do this thing. Yeah. And we're going to go through some of the sections, but one of the sections that we definitely wanted to talk about initially was the jumping in the pool scene at the beginning when the mum and the daughter Violet, obviously they're at this pool party sort of thing, like a business event or whatever it is, and they go to this pool party and then Violet, the mum tells the daughter not to jump in the pool, but eventually she does, and she gets her hair wet, which we all know.
Yeah.
You get your hair wet.
Especially when you straighten it as well.
Exactly. Freshly straightened.
Basically.
Exactly. It was freshly straightened hair, and she jumps in the pool, and the mum's just like, "What are you doing?" Like,
goes crazy.
And then takes her out the pool and drives her home. So, like, what did you kind of think about that, like, when that happened? Like,
yeah, it was interesting way to start, I guess. In terms of just, from a young age, she understood that she had to be perfect.
And she had to be
perfect. And perfect meant straight
hair. Exactly, because it's like, as soon as she jumps in the pool, there was a little boy and two little girls, and they were like, "Oh, you look like a chia pet, whatever that is."
Yeah. I think is it a dog? I think it's a dog.
That was kind of mad. And they were like making fun of her. Yeah. And not only did she feel ashamed that she felt ashamed that she disobeyed her mum. Then she felt ashamed because she actually jumped in the pool and they made her feel like she looked bad.
Yeah. It kind of confirmed what her mum had told her in terms of you have to look perfect, and in a way she had to learn that for herself, but not in a way that I think was like positive. I don't know. I felt there's better ways. Yeah, she was trying to protect her, but at the same time, it's damaging.
It was damaging to her because throughout the whole film,
you see how she's holding on to the
perfection.
Hair and perfection, exactly.
And trying to be in line and be straight and like have people accept her, because with the crazy hair, people weren't gonna. They weren't gonna respect her. We were talking earlier, and we were saying that the blonde is a representative of the fact that maybe she thinks that blondes have more fun, and that maybe she was just trying out a new thing.
I think that she was trying to come away from anything that she had done before. So blonde was completely different to what she's done. Even her friends were like, "What's this?" Yeah. And I think also she was trying to figure out who she was, and through that journey of figuring out who you are, a lot of people are like, "I want something to reflect this new journey. I want a way for people to see me differently." Yeah. And a lot of the time we do change up our hair. Like if we're going through something, we want to change up our hair. And I think that's what she was doing. I think that's the message she was trying to convey. Like, I'm trying something new. Yeah. With the hair and her life, she was like, "I'm gonna go out and have fun." We even spoke. It was like, was it a significant thing that she was out with a white guy or what? Like,
like she was trying something completely different to what she ever usually has.
So it was like
blonde hair. She was like wearing clothes different. Yeah. Shaving scene. The shaving scene.
Yeah. Probably the most, like, the scene that was supposed to be the most iconic, but for me, I was like, this is really uncomfortable to watch. Like, what's she doing?
I kind of liked it.
But I think it's because I've never seen Saabirah Lawrence in that role before. I was like, this is unfamiliar for me. Yes. And also, I was just a bit like, is she sad? Is she happy? What's going on here? But I think the point of it was to show the range that you can have of emotions during this time. Like, she was excited because she was like, what a relief this is, but also like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. Like, she's probably having thoughts of like, I'm actually losing it.
She was losing it. Like, but what I could relate to in that sense is like, I have really long hair as well, and it gets to a certain part where it's a burden to you, and you just want a bit of a break. So like, but with her, she went to the extreme, and she just left it for so long. On the inside, as a person, she wasn't being herself, and on the outside, she was suppressing whatever she was feeling, the angst she was feeling towards her hair. And it wasn't just about the relationship breaking down. It was more to, if this whole thing was about her as a person, not about her having a tantrum about her not getting proposed to.
Exactly.
It wasn't about that.
On, like, who are you
as a person?
Her not knowing that until he was like, I don't know who you are, and she was like, oh wait, hold on, I don't know who I am.
Exactly.
And I think that in itself was her journey, and shaving off that hair was a bit like, let's start from the beginning.
Let's start from fresh, like let's renew. Like, let's get rid of this. It wasn't really about even the hair in a sense.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean?
It was about her journey in terms of finding herself, and the hair played a part in it, and just because as a woman, as a black woman especially, hair is a bigger deal than it
needs to be.
Yeah, it's
it
true.
never needs to be that big of a deal, but it always has been.
But it always is.
But we can't blame ourselves, because at the end of the day, maybe also, you know, after slavery and everything, and imagine when the first load of Jamaican and Caribbean and African people came over to this country and their hair was different. I'm sure that was probably one of the first things that people noticed was different about them, apart from the.
But historically, it's been a thing of like, because natural hair has been something that's so like confusing to certain people, or so like different. It's either been like played with and all the kind of thing, or it's like, okay, cut it all off or get rid of it, hide it in some way, shape or form.
Exactly.
So,
it's encouraged. It's been encouraged for years.
From a long time before we even was introduced to it. So like, it was something we was given to deal with. Really, without understanding why. But that's true. I think
she did that. You know,
it was a combination of her just saying, I'm going to start from the beginning, let me let go, and figure out who I am, and get rid of this hair so I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Because it was affecting her personality, wasn't it?
And like, she even said it as well, like, she was like, it saved her time, she doesn't have to worry about her hair anymore. And I was like, look at that, like, there are women who say that today, that I don't have to worry about my hair anymore.
That long, do you know what I mean? And then the last scene was the new growth scene. And, you know, the hair starts going through. She starts looking fabulous.
I think she was really good,
Fabulous.
Really good.
Like, the hair starts growing back. Prior to that, though, you know, she starts dating the guy, Will. And then we realise when she goes to the 4th of July party at the mum's house that she still doesn't know who she is. And he does. And he doesn't need to justify himself to anyone.
And you see that contrast of someone who's like, I know who I am, don't correct me, or don't tell anyone who I am, because I know who I am, and he's comfortable. Whereas whereas Violet is a bit like,
trying to hold it up.
Yeah, she's
like,
trying. No, we've got to pretend. We've got to act perfect. Because he was just like, she was like, he owns his own business. I have my own hair products. Like, he was like, I'm not ashamed
to say.
But she was thinking, well, what's my mum gonna think? But he's not at that point. He's at a point in his life where he's like, who cares?
Exactly.
It's my life.
He was securing himself, and she was still trying to do the most to cover it up and to like be like the mum, because when they have them deep set
mindsets,
it's not going to change overnight. So even after she's cut her hair, changed it blue, changed it this, changed it that, changed it that, she's still not at a stage where she Mum's like, oh, you're bringing a guest, and she was like, oh, this brother, you know, the woke brother. She wasn't looking for a woke brother. She was looking for someone who looked like Hollyoaks guy, Clint. There you go. She wanted someone who looks like that.
Have the money, have
the car,
all of it.
We need to stop this, girls. We need to really stop this whole money, car, light, must look like this, must be muscle.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up for a loss. I'll tell you that.
Especially in this day and age.
27-year-old advice there, setting yourself up for a loss. Alright? Just pick what you want, be happy with that, okay?
They had that big scene where in an argument he was like, you don't let your hair down.
Yeah, he's like, I don't really know you. It's about being on a 2-year first date, which was mad. That's what happens when you try to be perfect. That cut her deep.
Yeah. She was like, whoa, I'm expecting you to propose to me, and you're basically saying you don't know me after 2 years. She's like, what?
But it's true. He was calling the secretary at work, innit, to find out all the wedding arrangements. She didn't know the same flowers.
Conveying it back, but to her, that was perfectly fine. The fact that my man doesn't know what flowers are like.
That's okay.
He has to ask my secretary. That's okay to her. As long as she gets the ring and she gets that life, she's cool. But I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Pay attention to detail, please.
It was bad. And then after that, you know, she starts to have a bit of an internal breakdown, but she doesn't physically have any sort of breakdown. And like, she just starts to realise that everything that she has been doing up till now has just been so artificial.
She questions everything that she's doing. That's brave.
She gets back with Clint, doesn't she? And that's when she realises that Clint still
needs her to be perfect.
Yeah, and that they're kind of being good for each other, but not being good for themselves.
You said that, yeah. Like every time they get back together, or every time they was involved with each other, it was her doing things for him.
And then when she got back together, he was trying to do things for her.
He's like, okay, sit down, I'll cook for you.
Yeah.
I've never done this before. I'm thinking 2 years. I can't say anything, but hey.
I can say something.
I can say
Don't you dare! Let's ask questions real quick. Why have I not met your parents yet? Because if I am going to meet your parents, I need to be meeting them before 2 years. Yeah. And not that there's a time frame on these things, guys. There isn't.
But 2 years feels like it's a bit of a long time.
2
but
years.
then again, he was like, I don't even know this girl. I'm like, fair enough.
But you know what? If you don't know a girl as well, if you're dating someone, a girl, and you feel like you don't know her, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Because at the end of the day, or try to get to know her, or have them real words with her. Like, listen, babe, you're perfect. But you know what?
2 years and they didn't have that conversation before. He just kept on going and going. And even when we said, like, in terms of like they were doing things for each other, him saying he kind of backtracked when he caught her dancing and was like, oh yeah, I like this side of you, kind of thing. And he was like, oh, I just said those things because I thought I was never going to be good enough for you. I was like, you're backtracking. Just say what you said, because when you said in the beginning, that obviously resonated with Violet, because then she kind of changed her ways.
Yeah.
And now he's seeing that, he's like, oh, I like that. And yeah, it was me who was at fault. But I'm like, are you sure? I was like, again, they're both doing things for each other, not for themselves. Yeah. And at the end, she realizes that, and she's like, I've got to do me.
She's got to do me. And that was the part where they were at the pool, and she was like saying the heels were hurting her, and she was like, if I'm not perfect, I basically have to stay here. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
And he was like, what? Everyone else was like, what are you on about?
But I'm like, I get it. I
like, can't move perfect. I can't progress as a human any longer if I have to keep being like this. Because he asked her to straighten her hair for this party, the engagement party, to meet the parents, because he wanted to make sure everything was perfect. Okay, let's give it a rating. What do you want to give the rating?
Now that I've watched it a second time, and that I see things a bit better in terms of the message, and there were like small details, I was like, okay, that's smart, I like that.
Yeah.
I would give it like I'd give it 6.
A 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I gave it a 7 the first time I watched it. And 7. Then afterwards, after my reflection, I was like, I gave it a 4. Okay. And then now I'm like, okay, I'll say 6.
Okay. I'm gonna say that for the sheer fact that filmmaker has now decided to pitch this film, it's relevant. I like how they very much focused on the afro hair and not just kind of had people with afro hair in it. That wasn't really enough. What it needed to be a storyline with a hair focus, and I like the themes. The themes were real, and that's kind of at the kind of stage where I'm in my life. I'm gonna give the film an 8 out of 10. Okay. And filmically it looked good, and I think they did well with the casting, so I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. But I'm going to really acknowledge that this film is not something that I don't think we're going to be talking about for years on end.
Oh yeah. It's not one of those. It's not one of those kind of films. Like, okay, let's reference this in history and like it's not one of those ones.
I'd like people to reference it maybe in schools in a couple of years, maybe.
Maybe it would be a good thing to look at and analyse in like a media class, or even just something related to what's going on in there, or anything. It would be interesting to have that, but it was an important film for black women to have, because we needed it as a reference point. We've got it now, so thank you for that. But at the same time, it wasn't really as entertaining. It's not one of those Hollywood blockbuster films. It's not supposed to be though. It's an independent film. It's not supposed to be.
Don't please, when you watch it, please understand that it's not really a film to be like ha 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 or laugh or ha 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 over. It's more of a film where you're meant to be analysing and learning stuff from. When you look at it in that sense, you're like, this is amazing. Yeah. But initially, nothing crazy is going to happen.
I was like, this is going to be entertainment to watch it. And I watched it and I was like, okay. I feel like if it wasn't really meant for entertainment purposes, more of an entertainment or conversation, more like a conversational piece and something for people to look at and maybe even refer to. I don't know. Maybe people will refer to it. I don't know if I will be, but you know.
Yeah. We don't.
But it was still good.
Yeah.
The second time around, it was better.
It was. I personally, I liked it from the beginning because I was just like, natural hair, Okay. Thank you guys for watching. We've had so much fun.
It was a good conversation.
It was a really good one.
I feel like we got really into it as well.
We got into it like, no, but if she doesn't, no.
Before you knew it was like, oh, it's been a while.
It was good though.
It was a good conversation.
It was really good. But if you want us to do anything else together as well, let us know. Write in the comments below. I'm going to put a link to Saabirah's blog as well and Instagram. Yeah, thank you guys.